Hiya! VideoGaming Father here with a video review of 2D retro puzzle platformer called Boy and His Blob. Is the game as weird as its name? Is there any strange story explaining the bond between the small boy and the blob? Are there any interesting ideas making this game unique? Or is it just another puzzle platformer like hundreds of others? Is the game difficulty family friendly, or will you be rather suffering than enjoying the game? Does it have responsive controls, or will you be struggling with them? Do the game audiovisuals keep up with the modern standards, or are they fully retro? And is there any local co-op making the game even more enjoyable? Let's have a look at all this stuff in my A Boy and His Blob video review.
Come on.
So, there should be some weird, and I mean it in a good way, story explaining the unimaginable friendship between the small boy and a blob, shouldn't there be? When Blobonia is threatened by an evil emperor, the blob comes to Earth looking for help. Instead, he finds a young boy. Help the blob dethrone the evil emperor that's terrorizing Blobonia and establish a friendship with the blob that will last a lifetime. This is actually what I have read in the game description, but there is not any explicit story in the game itself. In the start of the game, the animation consisting of something that might be considered the best game scenes is shown in a good old retro way, and that's it. No story explaining how the boy got acquainted with the blob, who they are supposed to save, and what kind of evil they need to be. Simply nothing. Which is a shame, as I think that the authors had a really solid foundation to build up an interesting story. So this is kind of missed opportunity. Let's find out if the rest of the game is better than this. In the beginning, your main hero, called simply a boy, wakes up in his treehouse and goes for his first adventure in the magical forest. This part serves as some kind of tutorial, even though the game does not explicitly explain anything to you in the good old tradition. So you simply learn by playing and trying how to move, jump, push the blocks to be able to jump onto them, either to be able to reach the higher spot or to destroy them by several jumps if they block your way further. You also meet the first enemies, evil black blobs that you cannot touch, so you simply need to jump over them or to avoid them some other way. After the first few minutes, you meet the second main game character, the cute white blob, the inseparable companion for the rest of the game. One hug, and you are on your way back home. On your way back, you find out that your friend likes to swallow the treasure boxes that are sometimes easily accessible, but mostly located in hard-to-get places. There are 3 of them in each level, and your task is to collect at least one of them to proceed further. Once you get back home, your friends spit out the boxes, and you get an artifact to your collection. Again, no explanation why it is and why you are collecting them. Your home serves as the central hub with a world map where you select your next mission. The progress is rather linear, so once you finish the level, you simply unlock the next one. You can also repeat the previous level if you have not managed to collect all boxes, but the game does not motivate you much to do so, as there is no ranking system or something that you could buy for it. This system could be used better, I would say. Now let's take a closer look at why the boy actually needs his blob for. Well, the blob is actually the tool that you use to solve most of the game puzzles. Blob can be transformed into 15 useful items by feeding him jelly beans. In each level, the boy has up to 4 different jelly beans that can transform the blob to the hole that allows you to fall through the ground, and also can be used against the enemies to let them fall down out of your way. Ladder allowing you to climb higher, trampoline that gets you even more higher, and thanks to parachute you can jump down from high spots. The blob can also transform into bowling ball that allows him to be thrown to the narrow places where the boy could not get to, or to be swallowed by a monster which causes his explosion once the blob is cold red. The last transformation I have seen so far is the balloon, which helps the blob to get to the high places when being caught by the boy. The good thing here is that you have an unlimited number of jellies, so you also have an unlimited number of attempts to resolve each situation. The bad thing on the other hand is that some steps are irreversible. For example, when you jump down with a parachute and there is a spot with a treasure box in the middle of your jump that you do not manage to navigate your gliding to quickly enough, you lose the chance to get this box unless you restart the whole level. On one hand, it might motivate you to repeat the level to reach perfection, But on the other hand, I do not think that this is the best way for this motivation. How about the variability of your enemies and level design? I have not seen many enemy types so far. Just the basic black blob that is rather easy to avoid. The blob in the form of angry bull starts to run against you with his head down every time when he spots you. The frog-like jumping blob and the blobs in the form of floating mines that you need to avoid while jumping or flying on parachute. Each contact with the enemy causes the boys dead, so you really need to be careful. The good thing is that the enemy blobs are not lethal for your blob, so you can easily use to prepare them unpleasant surprises in the form of holes in the ground or bowling balls. There are not many enemy types, but the Boy and His Blob is rather about solving puzzles than about fast-paced action, so the number of enemies is sufficient for such a game. As for the level design, the game consists of short levels that always makes you combine various blobs transformations, while you are given a different set of them in each level. I can say that I was satisfied with the puzzle's variability most of the time. However, sometimes you get into a situation that seems to be impossible to resolve with your knowledge of game controls. This is unfortunately caused mainly by the absence of proper tutorial. For example, no one tells you that the beans can be thrown to the distance, which is essential knowledge to resolve some puzzles, but the jelly beans need to be thrown over the water, for example. This increases the game time in a wrong way and causes the unnecessary frustration. The environment itself is not too variable. I've only seen the forest and swamps so far, but thanks to the good level design you won't be paying much attention. As for the game difficulty, I would say that it is well balanced to be challenging but not frustrating for the casual players. The levels are short, most of them take you just a few minutes to complete, and when one dies, he is respawned right before the critical moment. You also have an unlimited number of jelly beans, which gives you an unlimited number of attempts to find the right solution. What on the other hand has raised the game difficulty are not so responsive game controls. It's not a complete disaster, but choosing the jelly bean from the circle menu, getting off the ladder, navigating the boy while parachuting, or throwing the beans to the distance is unnecessarily challenging quite often. I have played the game on the Xbox controller, but I suppose that it will be similar if not worse on the keyboard. Also, sometimes it really takes a lot of time before the blob finds the right way to the boy, especially if the boy has got to some high place, and you need to throw balloon transforming jelly beans almost blindly then, and hope that the blob will take them, turn into the balloon, and find the right path leading to it. Controls could definitely be more user-friendly and responsive. The game graphics are simple but smooth, colorful and in high resolution, so I do not think that anyone's eyes will get hurt by the game's look. And the blob looks really cute. Plus the game can be run smoothly even on low-specs machines. The only complaint I have got here is the procedure that you need to follow if you want to change the resolution and have the game in full screen mode. Luckily there is a helpful instruction on Steam forum, but it's a technical problem that should have definitely been fixed by the game devs. Orchestral music is nice and is changing from relaxing to more dynamic while reacting to what is just happening on the screen. Sounds are just okay, nothing that would surprise you either negatively or positively. So, is a Boy and His Blob a game that is worth trying, or should you better look somewhere else? The game undoubtedly has many positives. Original game concept, imaginative level design, interesting puzzles, relaxed game atmosphere, balanced difficulty, beautiful and cute graphics, and nice orchestral music. However, one can also find some downsides that make the game experience not so pleasant. No story that one could follow, the lack of tutorial, clunky controls, long waiting for blobs sometimes, and technical issues with the graphical setting. Thanks to the short levels, not so high difficulty, and cute graphics, the game is suitable for family playing, and school-age kids will for sure enjoy the game and practice their logical thinking. It's a pity that there is not any cooperative multiplayer that would make the family fun while playing even better. A Boy and His Blob costs €10 on Steam, which is quite high, and that's why I would recommend waiting for at least 50% discount before buying. I think that this game is a worthy successor to the old game for the NES console with the same name, and despite struggling with setting the graphical settings in the beginning and regularly struggling with the game controls, I have enjoyed the game and felt really relaxed while playing. I'm therefore giving A Boy and His Blob thumbs up and VideoGaming Father's index 7 out of 10. Recommended with some discount. Thank you for spending your time with my Boy and His Blob video review, and if you had a good time while watching it, please do not forget about thumb up and subscribing to my VideoGaming Father's channel for more video reviews. Hope to see you again!
Alright!